Stacy Spencer, Willow Run School District. My question is, if we do go ahead with the consolidation, what will happen to the two boards that are before us?
E.L. Weathers.
Good evening. E.L. Weathers, 236 Wilson. I presently live in the Ypsi School District. I've lived in both. I'm a graduate of the Ypsilanti High School in 1958, so I've been here for a while. One of the things that, let me give you something else. I'm a retired planner by profession. Okay? One of the things I want both boards to consider, when they make the decision, anybody that has been on either board over 10 years maybe needs to think about, stepping down. And the reason why I raise that, both systems didn't just get in this condition overnight. I used to be a trustee also on the pension board. I was chairman of the pension board for about 4 years. I was on the board for about 12. So I know about, watching money. If both boards drove the bus in the ditch, I don't think once they put their glasses on, unless they was very bad sight, that they're going to be able to try it out. So anybody over 10 years need to consider stepping down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weathers.
Murata Jenkins.
Murata Jenkins, Willow Run School District. I graduated from Willow Run in 1991. And my question is, I think that Superintendent Martin kind of stated towards the end that when we get ready to vote, when the vote takes place, you're going to have a plan in place. I think at the beginning of the meeting it was a little bit convoluted as to what we will be voting for if it was on the ballot. I just encourage both boards, when you communicate with the public and you say vote, to indicate what that vote is going to mean. Is that a vote for consolidation? Is that a vote for a specific plan? Just be a little bit more defined when you state that the people are going to have to vote, so that when we're thinking about voting, we're thinking, okay, this is a plan that we're going to get that's going to be defined, that we will know what it means for our children and our community, versus this is, we're going to vote and put it in your hands and find out much later after the fact what it's going to be. So that's my encouragement to you both, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins.
Mr. Robert Heer.
Yes, I'm Rob Harris from Ypsilanti Public Schools. What I came to the board tonight with is I am the president of Washington County support staff. We have our own MABO here, and as support staff, we have not been part of any of these decision makings when we're collaborating, bus drivers and collaborating, and we want to have a voice. So I'm asking both boards if you'll consider us as a subcommittee that will be able to have some input on how these are being collaborated before it's being done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Larry and Jessica Small.
Good evening, my name is Larry Small. I'm a parent in the community. My wife and I, we have 7 kids. I volunteer my time at the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school. And before we can even talk about a plan of consolidation of 2 school districts, let's talk about a plan of these teachers need help at school. We have kids walking around, not doing what they're told, not doing what they're supposed to do, while we tell them that they're supposed to be respectful. It doesn't even work because these kids aren't having reiteration. I think what we should do as a group of parents, because we're all parents here, is show a presence in the school and give these teachers some help so they can teach our children, instead of these districts and scores being so low because we're not helping these kids. We're sending them right out to the streets, and as adults, we're watching them fall apart without even giving them help. And I don't know what's worse, watching as parents sit back and know that their kids are out of control, or watching a teacher whose job is to teach not do their job. It's a sad situation in our time right now that these kids aren't receiving the help that they need, and everyone's just sitting back and watching. But we're talking about putting 2 school boards together. Let's start first with making our schools better so we can have a world-class district that way. That's my comments, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Jessica, did you want to speak? Oh, okay, all right. Thank you.
Ms. Christine Gillespie.
They've all been taller than me. All right, I'm Christine Gillespie. I have kids in the Ypsilanti Public School District, and I'm a product of the district myself. I have thoughts and concerns about the consolidation, just because in my neighborhood, I am watching the students hemorrhage out of the district. Of the kids that my oldest went to kindergarten with in the Montessori program, we have really good attendance rate. But of those children, after they left the Montessori program, I'd say that about 70% left the district. That's just my finger in the wind. So I'm hoping that what I'd really like to see is as part of the plan, what is the vision to keep families in the district? What is it that we're offering? How are we marketing ourselves so that the perception of our district becomes much more positive and competitive with the school districts around us and the charter schools around us? That way we can keep our kids here and improve what we've got.
Thank you.
Julie and Joe.
Nice.
How
do you pronounce it?
It's Angeli.
Angeli.
Julie Angeli.
All right.
And I was thinking there's merit in going first, that other people haven't asked your questions. I had to cross some of mine off. I think I'm an IFC parent. And I think Mr. Fanta addressed many of the specifics, and I know you're not going to have answers. I think one of the things that's kind of floating around in my head, again, that you might not have the answer to, is like, you talked about a timeline, and I'm thinking, are you talking like September? Or the next September? And so I think that, in part of your plan, when you start meeting with people, is getting some of that preliminary stuff out to like just making a huge list of all of those fire type questions that parents are going to come up with and having answers to them and getting those out to the public quickly will be helpful. I give you a lot of credit for thinking outside of the box. I'll be very honest, I work in Ann Arbor. People, when you say your child goes to IPSI or Willow Run, 90% of them cringe. And I think that's wrong. And I moved here on purpose for a reason, and we're going to stay here on purpose for a reason. And I think there are a lot of parents here, or parents who couldn't even be here, and that's kind of, whenever I stand in front, I want you to know that there's like 100 people behind me that couldn't be here, or chose not to be here, but their kids need a chance to. So we might not speak exactly to what they want to say, but that there are a lot more people involved in this than just the people that show up, and we need to figure out a way to hear all of their voices as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Gina Hickey.
Hi, I'm Georgina Hickey. I have 2 children in the Ypsilanti district. We are now hitting a theme. It's about process. I realize that this is a joint board meeting, and so we're bound by parliamentary procedure, and as much as I love Robert's Rules of Order, I think we missed a big opportunity. I suspect there's a lot of people in the room who showed up here thinking, hey, maybe you tell us how many people are in the other district. That we don't actually know a lot about each other. Some of us in the room, some parents met earlier and got a little bit of that information, but I realized I haven't looked at a map of Willow Run's district. And as I'm running out the door, I went, nah, they'll have maps at the meeting. I mean, here's the first opportunity to start educating people on what we're really talking about, and I'm concerned that we missed it. And so we've got to get ahead of the game. I appreciate the addition of community to the memo, but I'm frightened that there wasn't a plan presented. Oh, sure, there'll be some town hall meetings. That doesn't give me much peace. I would like to see a timeline. I would have liked to have seen the process.